Welcome back to the show, everyone. Tonight, the Sacramento Kings take on the Los Angeles Clippers in LA on the second night of a back to back for both teams. Before I get into tonight, I'm going to talk about last night's Kings game against the Brooklyn Nets. The Kings shot a franchise record, or made a franchise record 28 threes, with five players making three or more threes, which is crazy. Uh, they shot 55% from three and 51% overall. You're going to win. It's going to be tough to lose when you're shooting that well. If you're shooting that well, you're not going to lose very many games. They stepped it up in the second half. The first half, they didn't shoot so well. They were like 41, 42% overall. Then in the second half, they just stepped up. One of the main people that stepped it up, of course, was De'Aaron Fox. First half, he only had 9 points. So in the second half, he stepped up big time and scored 20 points in the second half, which he's going to have to do that in order for this team to play well. He's going to have to score 20 or more points a game. Monk really stepped up as well. He scored 21 points off the bench, and Trey Lyles scored 17 off the bench. It's been nice having Lyles back. It looks like he's getting his legs back underneath him after not being able to play the first handful of games to start the season because of the injury. But looks like he's looking more and more comfortable now. Keegan Murray, he had a big offensive game, 4-4 from three. That was big. That was big from him. But what I liked from him is not just the threes he was making, but he was making those turnaround jumpers from mid range. He had a couple fadeaway jump shots. If he's making that and he's able to improve his shot, his ISOs, then he's going to be nearly impossible to stop because he's so tall. If he gets into the lane, it's going to be tough to block his shot because he's so tall. He had a nice dunk on Giles, unfortunately, but it was nice to see him have another strong dunk on somebody, which last year you just didn't see that from him. A lot of times it's just an easy layup or something up and under. So it's nice to see him going up strong with dunks. He possibly might be getting his legs underneath him because the last couple of games he's playing a lot better. Uh, Maybe his back's feeling a little better as well. But what a lot of people don't understand is the Kings are asking a lot of him on the defensive end, and defense takes out so much from you. So you're not going to have as much legs on the offensive end to shoot. So the fact that he struggled in the first half or the start of the season, it could have just been he just wasn't used to trying to play offense, so much defense, and then coming back to shoot. So maybe now his body's getting used to it. He's a little bit better conditioned now. So now he's used to it. So now he can be the Keegan of last year, be that lockdown defender that the Kings need, and be that lockdown shooter that will be helpful for Keegan or for De'Aaron Fox to dish out for the three. If he's able to get that down, it's going to help a lot. Kevin Herter struggled last night. I heard this more on the radio that it sounds like he has a hurt finger. If it's on his shooting finger, then it would kind of make sense to why he's kind of struggling lately from shooting. Because if your finger's hurt, you don't purposely do it, but you kind of change your shot so it doesn't come off that finger. And if you're a top shooter like him and you alter your shot, it's just not going to feel the same. Therefore, it won't look the same. Sasha didn't play too well on the offensive end last night, only 2 points, and it came on a putback after a missed layup. But he had a real nice block. He's been getting a couple blocks here and there, which is nice to see from him. I was impressed with his defensive presence. The Nets were going at him on the offensive end on when he was on defense. They were doing a lot of ISOs, and yeah, they scored a couple on him. But the fact that he made them work for it and he wasn't just a revolving door, letting them get layup after layup after layup, that was nice to see from him. You can see his basketball IQ. He knows where he needs to be, what he needs to do. And you hear from coaches all the time, if you're not performing on the offensive end, do something else that makes you stay on the floor. If you can perform on the defensive end, get deflections, get rebounds. He had 5 rebounds last night. That's huge for him off the bench. So as long as even if he's not shooting well, as long as he can contribute on the defensive end, he'll find his way on the court and get more minutes, more trust, and therefore his offense will come around. He's an elite shooter. He will start to it will start to fall. I promise. Um, like I said, Monk with 21, Lyles with 17. They were really the only bench players to score. Tonight, we're going to need a lot more scoring from that bench unit. Being on the second night of a back to back, the starters are going to be a little bit tired. Dumas had one assist shy of an assist, or one assist shy of a triple double. That would have been nice to see. But the Fox, Dumas, and Murray, they all played around the 35-minute mark. So they're going to be a little bit worn out tonight. So we're going to need that bench to step up. The Kings had 38 assists last night. That's huge. If you can get 38 assists, again, you're going to win a lot of games. Only 13 turnovers, that's big, keeping that turnovers down. And if you do have a turnover, if it's a dead ball turnover, it's not as bad because then they can't come up on a fast break. So if you do have a turnover, as long as it's a dead ball, it's not nearly as bad as a steal on the turnover. The Nets, on the other hand, they shot 48% from three and 48% overall. Again, you will win a lot of games when you're shooting 48%. They just ran into a buzzsaw Kings team who were making all their jump shots. And when an opposing team's shooting 40, like 50, 55 and 51, unfortunately, you're not going to win very many games. So they needed to play a little bit better defense. But 48%, you can't complain about that. That's good offense. They just didn't shoot that well, or just couldn't stop the Kings from scoring. They had 24 assists. You'll take that. But again, the Kings had 38. So the Kings or the Nets, obviously, they're not struggling on the offensive end. Their issue is the defensive end. If they just couldn't get a stop, they would be down by 10, then get it down to 4, and then the Kings would just run back up to 10, down to 4. They just couldn't get over that hump. A lot of times, that's what the Kings run into. The problem is they'll get behind and they'll come back, like against the Pelicans, get behind by a lot, come back, get it within like 4, 6, and then they just can't get over that hump. That just happened to be what the Nets happened to do last night. Going into the game tonight against the Clippers, both teams on the second night of a back-to-back. The Clippers' big three, Harden, George, and Leonard, they all played about around 40 minutes last night. So similar to the Kings. So about even there. They're at home, so they don't have to do the travel. But the Kings need to get back. They need to get back at the Clippers after what the Clippers did in Sacramento last time. Like then again, but last game, the Kings were on the second night of a back-to-back. The Clippers, it was their first night of a back-to-back. So they had a little bit more energy, and it showed. It clearly showed. I was at that game during warmups. A bunch of the Kings' shots just weren't going in. Even during warmups, they were flat, no arc, hidden front rim, and they just didn't have any energy. They were spent mentally and physically from the night before with their 24-point comeback against the Warriors, and it showed. They were worn out. The Clippers came in, took care of business, got out of there with the W, and that game, Kings kind of tried to make a comeback in the fourth. They're down by 14. Sasha missed a 3 that would cut it to 11. And then after that, the wheels just fell off and it went back up to 20. Like, bam. So see if the Kings can get that comeback tonight, get back. Should be pretty interesting. Should be should be a high scoring game. Two teams that are offensively juggernauts. It's just going to be. Also, last game the Kings did not have Keegan Murray, which he'll be big. They need someone that can he'll probably be, I'm guessing, against Paul George. He's one of their main defensive guys, so not having him was huge as well. Yeah, let me know what you think below. Will the Kings be able to get back tonight? Did you watch the game last night? How do you feel the Kings played offense and defensively? Hit the describe, hit a comment, light the beam.